As energy projects get completed and new investments pour into this sector, we expect our nation's power supply to increase at a steady pace to meet our growing demand in the next few years. Nonetheless, we are continuously diagnosing and urgently addressing power shortages, as well as the systemic causes of blackouts in unserved and underserved areas. Nireremedyohan natin ang pangangailangan ng mga lugar na wala pang kuryente at madalas ma-brownout sa pamamagitan ng microgrid at off-grid systems at mga missionary small power utilities na sinusuportahan pa rin ng solar. Running through Bataan, Pampanga, and Bulacan, the newly inaugurated Mariveles-Hermosa San Jose transmission line will further strengthen the reliability of the Luzon power grid. In the Visayas, all stages of the Cebu-Negros-Panay Backbone Project have likewise been completed. This project shall serve to stabilize the power situation in Western and Central Visayas and avert recurrences of power outages experienced in the past. Dahil sa proyektong ito, naiwasan ang blackout sa Panay Island noong Abril hanggang Hunyo sa kabila ng yellow at red alert sa region. And just last week, the Dumanhog-Corelia line of the Cebu-Bohol Interconnection Project was energized, enabling the transfer of power between Cebu and Bohol. With these systems currently operating at capacity, these major power lines shall contribute to the efficient power exchanges not only between Luzon and the Visayas, but also involving Mindanao. Energy sharing and transfers between, among, and within the three island groups have now been made possible with the energization last January of the Mindanao-Visayas interconnection. The energization of the Mindanao-Visayas interconnection is a defining moment, not only for the power sector, but for the entire country. Finally, we have connected the power grids of all three major island groups. The unified Philippine grid is a fulfillment of this dream, whose seeds were planted in the 80s through a vision bolstered by R&D, which we accomplished by applying typical Filipino persistence and dedication. Batid natin lahat na ang presyo ng kuryente dito sa ating bansa ay mataas. Kaya patuloy tayo sa pagdadagdag ng mga infrastruktura ng kuryente na magpapababa ng presyo ng kalanunan. Sa kabilang banda, tinitiyak din nating makatarungan ang paniningil sa mga consumer. Ilan sa mga hakbang na pinatupad ng pamahalaan ay, una, ang mas maayos at patas na lifeline rate program para sa mga mahihirap, lalo na sa mga benepisyaryo ng 4Ps. Pangalawa, ang naging pangsamantalang pagsuspindi ng fit-all tariff sa ating electric bill. Pangatlo, ang anti-bill shock program. At pang-apat, ang naging pagsuspindi ng wholesale electricity spot market noong panahon na nag-red alert sa Luzon at Visayas grid. At ang panghuli, mga refund at pagpapatanggal ng mga sobrang singil sa consumer tulad ng franchise fee. Binabalikan at binubusisi natin muli ang EPIRA upang malaman kung angkop pa ba ito sa ating kasalukuyang sitwasyon o napapanahon na ito ay amyendahan. Hinihiling ko sa Kongreso na pagtulungan na natin ito alang-alang sa kapakanan ng mga Pilipino. Sa taas ng presyo ng kuryente sa bansa, nahihirapan hindi lamang ang mga negosyante, kung hindi lalo na ang taong bayan. As of May this year, 12,000 kilometers worth of roads and more than 1,200 bridges have been built and upgraded across the country. Of note, We have provided a budget to upgrade 367 bridges and almost 1,600 kilometers of road along our country's longest thoroughfare, the Maharlika Highway from Luzon all the way to Mindanao. Moreover, significant segments of major expressways, which are part of the Luzon Spine Expressway network, have now been opened to the public. The SILEX, NLEX-SLEX connector, and the Plaridel bypass will be fully completed by the end of this year. CALAX and the C5 South Link will be fully operational by next year. Dahil sa mga mahalagang daan na ito, ang norte, gitnang Luzon, Maynila at katimugan Luzon ay lalo pa ngayon magiging mas konektado sa isa't isa. Under our Inter-Island Linkage Bridge Program, we expect two major bridges to be open to motorists this year. One is the Panguil Bay Bridge, touted as the longest water-spanning bridge in northern Mindanao. This bridge will connect Lanao del Norte to Misamis Occidental. The other is the Gicam Bridge in Zamboanga, Sibugay, which shall connect the Olutanga the island to the mainland of Mindanao. In addition, travel to and from Clark Airport is now much faster and more convenient, with the inauguration of the 20-kilometer airport New Clark City Access Road in Pampanga. We are also in the midst of a railway renaissance. The Metro Manila Subway Project has logged significant accomplishments in its tunneling works. Sa puntong ito, katumbas na ng 3 hanggang 6 na palapag ang lalim na nahukay at tuloy-tuloy na umuusad sa susunod na istasyon. Other railway projects such as the MRT-7 and the North-South Commuter Railway are likewise progressing. We will make sure that the right-of-way issues are resolved in the most equitable, efficient, and expeditious manner so that these will not get in the way of our infrastructure development. Bilang bahagi ng LRT-1 Cavite Extension Project, ang ruta ng LRT Line 1 sa Metro Manila ay madadagdagan mula sa Baclaran hanggang Sucat. Bubuksan ito sa publiko sa loob ng taong ito. At sa ilang taon, aabot na ang linya na ito hanggang Bacoor. Nagdagdag din tayo ng 76 na bago at modernong mga tren sa LRT-1 upang mas dumami, bumilis at maging mas komportable ang biyahe ng mga pasahero. Kamakailan lamang, binuksan naman natin muli sa publiko ang PNR Bicol Line na may habang 100 kilometro mula Naga hanggang sa Legazpi. Gayon din, patuloy ang pagpaganda ng ating mga paliparan at ang ating mga daungan para sa ikaginahawa ng ating mga manlalakbay. Unang-una na rito ang paliparan ng Maynila. Sa pangangasiwa ng pribadong sektor, inaasahang gaganda ang itsura at serbisyo nito sa mga susunod na taon. Soon, it will be capable of accommodating 48 flights per hour, servicing our ever-increasing local and international flight routes, and catering to more than 62 million passengers every year. More than 70 airports and seaport development projects across the country have now been completed, and another 350 ongoing projects are set to be completed by the year 2028. Notably, the capacities of the passenger terminal buildings of the General Santos Airport and the Bicol International Airport have been expanded by 300 and 500%, now catering to 2,000 and 1,600 passengers respectively. Meanwhile, the Batangas Port PTB, our popular marine gateway to Mimaropa, the Visayas, and to Mindanao, can now accommodate 8,000 travelers at any given time. Thanks to Congress, the public-private partnership as a crucial funding mechanism for big-ticket projects is now institutionalized by the force of law. PPP is seen to facilitate strategic investments and the timely development of projects under our Build Better More program, especially since around 1/4 of our flagship projects have been envisioned to be funded through this modality. As a perfect example, the NAIA PPP will go down in our history, not only as among the largest and fastest approved PPPs, but one that has set the bar in terms of openness, transparency, and competitiveness of the process. Through this partnership, our foremost aerial gateway is now primed for a revitalization. Once considered as among the worst and most stressful airports in the world, it will soon be a world-class international airport that we can all be proud of. But even before that, the UP-PGH Cancer Center is the first PPP to be approved in this administration. Together with the Philippine Cancer Center of the DOH, which broke ground last March, these two specialty hospitals will soon join our nation's fight against cancer. These centers will be a godsend to the more than 400,000 Filipinos who are afflicted with this deadly disease. Habang ang mga modernong ospital na ito ay ginagawa pa, patuloy tayo sa pagdadagdag at pagpapataas ng kalidad ng ating mga ospital at mga specialty center. Binuksan na natin sa publiko ang mahigit 20 bagong urgent care and ambulatory service o mga bukas centers sa iba't ibang lugar sa bansa. Intended to decongest public hospitals, these centers shall provide competent ambulatory care, most especially to the poor and to the disadvantaged, for health conditions that do not require hospital admission. Katuwang din natin ang lokal na pamahalaan sa mga tinatayo natin, mga tawag na super health centers. Sa tulong ng mga LGU, malalagyan natin ng sapat ng mga doktor at nurse ang mga ito at madadagdagan pa natin sa mga susunod na taon. Layunin natin na sa lalong madaling panahon, lahat ng lalawigan natin ay may sapat na mga center o pasilidad na may kakayahang makapagbigay ng pangunahing serbisyong medikal para sa ating mga mamamayan. Samantala, titiyakin natin na ang bawat isang probinsya ay mabibigyan ng mobile clinic upang ang laboratory exam at ilang pang pangunahing serbisyo medikal ay mapapalapit natin sa ating mga kababayan. Sa PhilHealth naman, dinamihan na ang klase ng generic na gamot na kasama sa benepisyo para sa mga outpatient. Mula sa 21 generic na gamot, ay 53 na. May mga bagong gamot para sa alta presyon at meron na rin para sa nerve pain at sa epileptic seizures. Bilang tugon sa dumaraming insidente at tumataas na presyo ng pagpagamot, itinaas na ng PhilHealth ng mahigit doble ang mga benepisyo para sa mga malulubhang karamdaman tulad ng acute stroke at pulmonya. Ang limit na ngayon para sa mga kondisyon na ito ay itinaas na hanggang 76,000 piso at 70,000 piso. Upang mapaigting pa ang paglaban natin sa cancer, tinaasan ng PhilHealth ng mahigit 1,000% ang benepisyo para sa pagpagamot ng breast cancer. Ang dating limit na 100,000 piso, ngayon ay ginawa na nating 1.4 million pesos. Ang benepisyo naman para sa colon cancer ay pinag-evaluate na rin. At bago matapos ang taon, ay sasama na rin sa mga benepisyo ng PhilHealth ang chemotherapy para sa cancer sa baga, atay, ovary at prostate. Naglaan po tayo ng mas mataas na pondo para sa ating medical assistance program. Kaya higit na mas marami pang mga Pilipino ang matutulungan nito ngayong taon. Aside from our aggressive hiring efforts, we have enhanced medical and allied health programs allocated seed funds for public medical schools, and launched scholarships and review and upskilling programs. These are to support the medical and nursing professions with a goal to strengthen and increase our human resources for health. As part of our recalibrated health approach towards prevention and healthy habits, we are prioritizing vaccinations, nutrition, mental well-being, and active and healthy lifestyles. Tuloy-tuloy ang ating paghahabol sa pagbabakuna ng mga sanggol at ang mga bata, lalo na sa Region 6 at sa BARM, kung saan kulang pa sa kalahati ang nababakunahan. At tuloy na tuloy din ang Philippine Plan of Action for Nutrition na ating binibigyan tuon ngayong Hulyo, buwan ng nutrition. Ang convergent programs to stamp out hunger and malnutrition were not only successfully launched, but have yielded inspiring results thus far. One survey confirmed that our expanding school-based feeding program has had a significant impact on the physical and mental well-being of more than half of the learner beneficiaries. Therefore, we will continue to further enhance these feeding programs in our schools and daycare centers. The recently launched Walang Gutom 2027 will now be fully rolled out from the initial 2,300 households, now all the way to 300,000 food-poor households across the country by the end of this year. But the program will go on until we feed the 1 million most food-poor families by 2027. An important component of our strategies to address malnutrition shall be the program for the first 1,000 days, or the first 2 years of a child's life. To ensure the health and nutrition of children 0 to 2 years old from the poorest families, we have proposed in the 2025 budget a new grant under the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program for this purpose. Sa pamamagitan nito, ang isang buntis o ang isang ina na benepisyaryo ng 4Ps ay mabibigyan ng karagdagang tulong pinansyal na laan para sa kanya at sa kanyang anak. Ang tulong na ito ay upang matiyak na siya at ang sanggol na kanyang sinapupunan o batang anak ay maaasikaso ng doktor, mababakunahan at mabibigyan ng sapat na nutrisyon. Closely related to these, the DOST has been continuously undertaking scientific research to develop nutritious food and drinks, which can be integrated into the government's feeding program. Government is aware of the pressing yet delicate social issues of the day, such as the mental well-being of our people. The DOH has launched its comprehensive mental health plan and ensured sufficient supply of medications. PhilHealth has also released this year its mental health benefit package for all its members. At the same time, grassroots and sports for all programs are back in the mainstream, catering to Filipinos of all ages.